They called Ryan Garcia a TikTok boxer until he dropped Devin Haney 3 times and shattered the script.
And it's a right hand landing and hurting Haney again.
This wasn't supposed to happen. Haney was the technician, the killer. Ryan, just the pretty face with fast hands. Then the left hook landed, and the world remembered. Speed isn't just for likes.
But here comes King Ryan. And it's a right hand landing.
Devin Haney was the kind of fighter who didn't just win. He punished you for thinking you could survive in the ring with him. But this story isn't about him. This story belongs to a kid from Victorville, California. A town that offered no real roadmap to stardom, no promise of legacy, just dry winds, cracked sidewalks, and long odds. But in that dust, Ryan Garcia heard something, a dream louder than every doubt, every laugh, every whisper behind his back. He didn't come from a dynasty. He wasn't guided by a legendary corner. What he did have was terrifying speed, a left hook that could make time freeze, and a grin that could sell out arenas before a punch was even thrown. He had the kind of face that belonged on billboards. But the fire in his fists said he was more than a poster boy. And still, the moment he started rising, the world sharpened its teeth. The knockouts came fast, blistering, blink and you missed it speed. He would dance around his opponents, then erase them with a single shot. Clip after clip went viral, millions of views, millions of fans. Promoters saw the dollar signs, brands lined up to cash in on the next Oscar de la Hoya. Social media crowned him King Rai, a modern-day gladiator with Hollywood appeal. But the boxing purists? They didn't see a fighter, they saw a fraud. He's a TikTok boxer. Pretty boy. Influencer with gloves? They rolled their eyes at his highlight reels, mocked his mitt work. To them, Garcia wasn't climbing a ladder. He was riding a wave of hype. Still, Ryan kept climbing. He kept punching, kept winning. 22 fights, 22 victories, undefeated, and each knockout was a middle finger to the critics. But beneath the bright lights, behind the fast hands and flashbulbs, the cracks were forming. Because for all the knockouts and magazine covers, Ryan Garcia was still human. Still a young man carrying the weight of expectations, doubt, and his own inner battles. Then came the whispers. Soft at first, dismissive, a few murmurs on forums and podcasts. He's flashy, but soft. Pulls out of fights. Not mentally built for this game. But whispers in boxing have a way of becoming headlines, and those headlines grew teeth. He's not disciplined. He's afraid of real pressure. Ryan Garcia is all sizzle, no substance.
The marriage with Trey. I think we'll see. Good jab.
And then came the moment that confirmed what the critics thought they already knew. Gervonta Tank Davis. A showdown billed as the battle of the new generation. Speed versus power. Flash versus fury. 2 undefeated stars on a collision course. The fight of the future. But what happened in that ring was brutal. Ryan started sharp, twitchy, confident. For a second, it felt like he belonged. Then, the trap.
Davis, and again.
A headshot. Perfect, precise, delivered with malice. It folded Garcia in half like a paper doll.
Underneath that left hook.
He hit the canvas, not just physically, emotionally. He didn't get up. The internet exploded. The boxing world nodded. The critics roared. Told you, he's not built for this. He got exposed. But what no one knew was that the knockout was just the start of the unraveling. Because that loss didn't just put a blemish on Ryan's perfect record. It detonated his identity. The golden boy was broken. From there, the fall was ugly. He vanished. Weeks turned to months. No fights, no focus, just fragments of a man unraveling in real time. Social media, once his kingdom, became his confession booth. He cried on live streams. He lashed out at fans. He accused his own promoter of betrayal.
Nobody was there for me. Like, my team, but just didn't come to the press conference. They ain't gonna do nothing, you know what I mean?
That's so garbage, man.
I was
left with somebody betrayed me in camp. They weren't trying to look out for me after the fight.
It was hard to tell if Ryan was a fighter or a man losing a battle we couldn't see. He talked about God,
My Heavenly Father, Jesus Christ, I'll give you all the glory.
about conspiracies, about cloning, about betrayal. To the outside world, it looked like Ryan Garcia had lost not just a fight, but himself. Even his die-hard fans started to fade. The same people who cheered his rise now scrolled past his meltdowns. It was a slow, public disintegration. So when the Devin Haney fight was announced, it felt like a setup. Haney was undefeated, disciplined, ruthless, the WBC champion, a technician, a student of the sweet science. And Garcia? He was being laughed at. A meme, a distraction, a warning sign for what happens when hype swallows hunger. The boxing world didn't even consider it a real contest. They considered it content. Why is this fight happening? Haney's going to embarrass him. Garcia's going to fake an injury and pull out. Ryan didn't help his own case. At the press conferences, he laughed maniacally.
That's funny, bro.
Interrupted answers, wore ski masks, giggled through interviews like a man completely detached from reality. He taunted Haney with childish nicknames, sang in microphones, called himself a troll.
How bad I beat the shit out of you?
It was a split decision.
Bro, how bad did I beat the shit out of you, though? If
You
it was
never
a-
beat the shit out of me.
Stop it, bro.
You never beat the shit out of me.
really
No, you
is
won that
fight.
fight, though. You won that fight.
For sure.
You did. I give you that.
He even showed up 3 pounds overweight. 3. That wasn't just disrespectful. It was the ultimate middle finger to the sport itself. And so the final narrative was written before a single punch was thrown. Ryan Garcia wasn't serious. He was mocking the moment. Haney was going to humble him. Again, the commentators had their scripts. The pundits had their tweets drafted. The crowd, they came expecting to see a beating, but here's what no one understood. Ryan Garcia wasn't unhinged. He was unleashed behind the laughter, behind the antics, behind the chaos. He had a plan, and he wasn't coming to survive. He was coming to shock the world. April 20th, 2024, Brooklyn, Barclays Center. The lights dimmed, the roar of the crowd built into a thunder. Camera lenses flickered like stars. You could feel the tension rippling through the arena like stat. On one side, Devin Haney, polished, focused, the technician in his prime, undefeated, a champion who had dismantled every style thrown his way. Slick movers, power punchers, southpaws, pressure fighters. His eyes burned like steel. On the other, Ryan Garcia, laughing, twitching, looking like a man possessed or maybe completely unhinged. He danced around the ring during announcements, stuck out his tongue, smirked. Some said it was nerves, others said madness. But when the bell rang, none of that mattered. The first round was everything the critics predicted.
Devin Haney doesn't have the power, but he does have the accuracy and timing.
Haney took center ring, composed and economical. Jab, jab, right hand, slide out, the rhythm of a champion. Ryan's footwork looked clumsy, his hands twitchy, his movements exaggerated, erratic, almost cartoonish. You could hear the analysts nodding in unison. Classic Garcia. No discipline, no game plan. Haney landed cleanly, jabs to the nose, straights to the midsection, and when Ryan swung wide, Haney slipped and punished him like a surgeon with fists. Rounds 2, 3, 4, same story. On social media, the memes were already flying. This fight is a clinic. Get Ryan out of there before he embarrasses himself more. But something was off. Yes, Ryan looked awkward, but he didn't look hurt. He was eating punches and he was laughing between rounds, and most tellingly, he wasn't gassed. Then came round 7. It started the same, Haney stepping forward behind that piston jab. He was racking up points, in total control. Then Ryan dipped low, baited the jab, and launched his signature weapon. The left hook. It wasn't a punch, it was a detonation. Crack. Haney froze mid-motion, eyes wide, legs gone. His body collapsed sideways like a building losing its foundation. Boom. The crowd exploded. People jumped out of their seats. Ringside faces turned white. Devin Haney, who had never touched the canvas in his life, was on his back. For 5 full seconds, no one knew what they were seeing. Was it a slip? A clash of heads? A lucky shot? But no. The replay confirmed it. Clean, pure, devastating. Down goes Haney, the commentators shouted in disbelief, and suddenly everything changed. Round 8. Haney got up, but he wasn't the same. His legs moved, but his brain lagged behind. Ryan smiled wider. A predator sensing blood. He didn't rush in. No, he stalked, calculated, watching for the mistake. Round 9 was tighter. Haney tried to regain composure, flicking out jabs, trying to reset the tempo, but his aura was gone. He was no longer the surgeon. He was a survivor. Then came round 10. Another hook. Not as fast, not as pretty, but just as mean. Haney hit the canvas again. The arena shook. Fans were on their feet. Devin's father, his trainer, was yelling, trying to will his son back into the fight. But the tide had turned, and there was no swimming against it. Haney rose again. Brave, proud, fighting on instinct. But the damage was done. His rhythm was broken. His confidence cracked. And Ryan, he looked possessed. Gone was the clown, the TikTok star, the chaos merchant. What stood in that ring was a man who had drowned in self-doubt, clawed his way back, and discovered that pain was power. He stalked Haney like a man carrying every insult he'd ever heard on his fists. Round 11, another left hook, another knockdown. It didn't even look like a full punch, more like a flick. But by now, Haney's foundation was glass. He went down again, stumbled, grabbed the ropes. By this point, even the commentators were silent, watching something they couldn't quite understand. The crowd, once mocking Garcia, now chanted his name. Ryan! 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 The final bell. Round 12. Haney survived, but barely, face swollen, eyes dazed. He walked back to his corner like a man waking up from a bad dream. The judges went to the cards. Majority decision. One had it a draw. 2 gave it to Garcia. But the truth, the world didn't need numbers. Everyone saw what happened. Devin Haney, the unbeaten, the disciplined, the respected, had been broken. And Ryan Garcia, he didn't just win, he rewrote his destiny. No more punchline. No more influencer boxer. No more overhyped pretty boy. He was now the man who shocked the world in a way no one thought possible. He took the scorn, took the memes, took the pressure, and he turned it into violence. Beautiful, brutal, unforgettable violence. Ryan Garcia wasn't supposed to win this game. He wasn't supposed to survive the hate. He wasn't supposed to rise from the ashes of humiliation. He wasn't supposed to take on an undefeated champion and tear him apart in front of the world. But that night, under the brightest lights, with every eye watching, he did it. He mocked Devin Haney and then beat the shit out of him. And when the final bell rang, when the decision was read and the world stood stunned, Ryan didn't just win a fight, he won back his story. Not the one written by doubters, not the one sold by promoters, but the one he carved with his fists, punch by punch, knockdown by knockdown, soul by soul.